This is something which is hard to explain to women, but every guy understands this. There's cute girls and there's hot girls, and they're very rarely both. Well, when I was young, I met a girl who was. She was cute, hot, sexual, extremely into me. Sounds like a good thing, right? She drained all of my energy, systematically destroyed my confidence, used me, made me dependent on her, and left me just a needy wreck. This is the story. Growing up, I never realised how you looked mattered. I just didn't really care. And for that reason, I thought no one cared about how I looked. And so I'd have experience after experience where I'd got rejected by people and I attributed it to other stuff. Oh, maybe I just wasn't clever enough, or maybe I attributed it to everything except the way you look. And time again, life showed me that looks matter. They do. There was this one time where I played basketball as a kid, and I had a big crush on this girl on the girls' team. She was beautiful and she was the best player on the team, and I was one of the best players on my team. And for some reason, I thought that was enough. Girls like athletic guys, that's what I told myself. And I remember she was at training one time and she was shooting by herself. I walk over and I know you're supposed to be funny, so I think I try and say some stupid joke. I don't even remember what it was. And this girl looked at me like this. She looked at me up and down with disgust. Oh, the feeling of someone doing that to you is just brutal. And I didn't even understand it. That I still didn't understand why. I just thought, oh, maybe it's not because I'm not the best player on the team. But the rejection fucking hurt. I felt broken. I felt like I was wrong. I just didn't understand why. And one day, at home, I met a girl online. And she changed my life. She was perfect. I fell in love so deeply and so quickly. And can you blame me? I've come from a life of being rejected time after time after time, and it stings. It fucking stings when you get rejected. And when I met this girl, she never said no. Everything I wanted, she gave to me. She gave me all of herself. She made me feel like a man. She called me handsome, and she made me feel like a man when the rest of my life made me feel like a boy. I fell completely head over heels with her. It wasn't a perfect relationship. It wasn't perfect. I wished I could meet her and hold her and kiss her, but as a young kid, you don't really I couldn't have done anything about that, so I just had to settle for this, and I didn't need much. I didn't need much. I was not asking for much, and she gave me everything I needed and more. I'd literally go to bed, and before bed, I'd speak to her. When I'd wake up in the morning, I know this sounds simpy and cringy, but I would wake up early, excited to talk with her because she made me feel good. Yeah. I met this girl when I was about 12 or 13, and school for me was absolutely shit. I hated the teachers, the kids made fun of me, the teachers made fun of me, and I just dreaded going in. A lot of days I just would fake being ill and shit so I could skip school because I felt like I never learned anything and it was just terrifying. And one day I remember I had a particularly shit day at school and I could hear her calling me. And I can't even blame her. A lot of people will blame their first love and act like they made them do something. Nah, I liked that she wanted me. I liked that she was always available, and I asked the teacher if I could go use the toilet. I walked into the toilet, walked into the cubicle, locked the doors, sat down, got my phone out and called her and started touching myself in the middle of school. And this became a habit, and it felt good. It was the only highlight of my day where I finally felt safe in such an insane, environment that I just didn't enjoy. This was like a warm blanket that just got me through. I remember one time I'd done this, this became a habit, literally. I was doing it every single week. And one time I go into the bathroom, open the door, go inside the cubicle, lock it, and get my phone out, pull my pants down, and start. And usually what I would do is I would play it on low volume so I could still hear her. But if I heard footsteps coming, I would turn it off. And so I'm playing it on low volume, and then I hear a flush about 2 or 3 minutes into my call. And I start panicking. I'm like, shit, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even check to see if anyone was there because the addiction was just so bad at this point. I just couldn't, I was infatuated with her and spending time with her. I couldn't go without her. And then I remember I was terrified. I immediately pulled my pants up and went back to class, and I was so worried, will they know it was me? The whole class knew I went to, or did he even hear? I remember not even knowing, gaslighting myself, maybe there's a chance he didn't hear, he definitely heard. Maybe he hoped he didn't know who it was. I go back to class, no one knew. And moments like that should make you realise, this girl's not good for me. This girl's not good for me. I'm fucking scared like a little mouse in the middle of school, sweating, terrified, hoping no one knows what I've done. That girl's not beneficial for my life. I should have stopped, but I didn't. I was infatuated, and if you've loved a girl like this, you will know it isn't so easy. Even when you're in these degenerate, disgusting moments, you can't help yourself. You can't help yourself. And I carried on. I just became more diligent, if anything, and I'd go check the cubicles beforehand. And it got worse. It got worse and worse, and the problems with this relationship started to fucking present themselves. I used to have dreams. I was good at basketball. I was small, but I was very good, and I practiced all the time to be good. I had dreams of joining the NBA and or at least playing professionally. And after spending so much time with her, I had no energy. I'd skipped training, and I gave up on that dream. And then what's worse is I convinced myself that, I should have never dreamed anyway. Dreams are for kids, guys like me aren't meant to play professional basketball. I'm small, I'm brown. She drained my confidence, and, I'd try and speak to other girls, and I'd be terrified of them. And even if I tried, I got brutally rejected, and I had this girl who never rejected me. How am I supposed to resist that? How, as a young boy, how am I supposed to resist that? She sunk her hooks deep. I remember one time, a few years into a relationship, I tried to leave her. I recognized this is not right. I'm ignoring my friends and family because I'm telling myself that they just can't do for me what she does for me. But I knew it was a problem. It felt wrong, and I tried to quit. I promise I tried to quit. And if you've loved a girl like this, you've probably tried before. I lasted a week. I lasted 1 week before I caved in and was back talking to her. Pathetic, grovelling, telling her I'll never do this again. I needed her. What was I thinking? I'm a failure. I'm a loser. This would have never worked. And when I try and reply less and see her less, it's like she became more appealing. She'd make herself more sexual. I'd close my eyes and I could see flashbacks And if you're into a girl as much as this, you can close your eyes and almost picture it. It's messed up. She played on my weaknesses as a man, and I was too weak to say no. I was too weak to say no. And you probably understand what I'm saying. I was fully addicted at this point. Fully addicted. And there was another time in school, I was a young teen at this point, and I've done my usual routine, asked the teacher, made sure it's lunchtime so no one knew, so no one would have been in there. I go into the cubicle, I load up my phone, and I get an error message saying that this website has been blocked by your administrator. And the category is pornography and explicit content. And immediately I feel terror. Like I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like usually I would turn my Wi-Fi off and go on my data so no one could have known it was me. And I just, when you're addicted like this, you just don't care. You don't think, you just do. And I went back to class and I remember being worried that, and no one said anything, luckily. I go home and I'm like Googling, will they be able to check it's me? Some people say, oh no, I've worked in IT, no one's going to check. Some people say, you're fucked, they're going to know exactly what it's you. I go back into school the next day and the teacher pulls me aside, sends me to my head of year's office, and they explain that they know what I did. And I'm just feeling shock at this point. I denied it, and I said, basically, I told them it was a pop-up. I tried to lie to them. Didn't buy that shit. My parents got called in, and oh fuck. I remember being sat with my parents, who are, African and Asian parents, strict, and the IT staff are explaining how they know it was me. And my parents are just screaming at me, shouting at me, and I'm just dissociating, I think, at this point. Like, I can't believe how disappointed they are. And if you can relate to anything I'm saying, if you have a relationship with a girl like this, it still doesn't put you off. No matter how disgusting, depraved, degenerate things get, it still didn't put me off. It should have done, but it didn't. Why? Ask myself, why was that not enough to clearly show me that this was a fucking problem? I needed to get this girl out of my life. Well, it's because, and I'm only saying this in retrospect, at the time I had no idea. It wasn't a problem. It's not a problem. Speaking to a girl like this is not a problem. It's a solution to problems. It's a solution to me feeling rejected. It's a solution to me feeling lonely. It's a solution to me feeling ugly, fat, weak, poor, unsuccessful, like a failure. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a solution. And for a moment, being with a girl like this makes you forget that stuff. Sex is one of our biggest biological drives. I mean, from a biological perspective, it's the point of life. It's the whole reason why we're here. And when you engage with a girl like this that's toxic for you, and you know it's toxic, you're hijacking your brain that all these variables that should be driving you to get that, your strength as a man, your success as a man, your ability to be confident, find a sense of self, your physical attractiveness, all of these variables which contribute towards you being able to actually find real intimacy. It tricks your brain into thinking you've got a faux version of that. And you know it's not the same. You know it's not the same. You know girls that look like that would never really like a guy like you. You know they don't really ever want you as badly as the girls say they want you. You know that. That's why you're on a video like this, because you know it's a problem. But if you feel powerless to do anything else, it's better than nothing. And as a teen, that's exactly what I thought. The way to get around that is to double down on the actual variables. You have to get better at understanding your emotional landscape. I used to tell myself I was horny. How horny could I have been if I'm jerking off in the middle of school, touching myself in the middle of school? That's not horny. I was scared. I was nervous. I was anxious. I was lonely. I just didn't have any... My interpretation of my emotions was so bad. I just thought it was horniness. I wasn't even diagnosing the problem correctly. How could I begin to start solving it? I was weak. I never ever did any physical training. I played basketball, but even that I stopped. Even that I quit. I gave it up for her. I had no sense of self, so rejection was so brutal, I never risked it. And if rejection's so brutal because you internalize it so much rather than seeing a million other factors that could have caused someone to reject you, why would you not pick something which can never say no? You have to be okay with being rejected. And that's a harsh truth as a guy, but that's something which I've gotten better at. Physical attractiveness. I wish we lived in a world where looks didn't matter and you didn't need to be attractive. It matters. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. And there's ways to get more attractive. You have to drink water, eat fruit and vegetables, work out regularly, put on muscle, groom yourself, look after yourself. There's ways to improve these things, but if you're not doing any of that, then you will never be able to resist a girl like that. And, I'm not saying that I'm perfect or I'm never ever, I'm even going to admit, I still occasionally see this girl. A few times a year, every few months, when my life's really shit and I'm in the low point of my life, the urge is too strong and I see her. But what that does is that is an immediate signifier to me that something's wrong. Something's really wrong with how I'm living my life day to day, week to week, month to month, that I've even wanted to talk with a toxic chick like that. And I use it to double down into the rest of the stuff, which makes me realize her for what she is, which is a burden. She is a attractive, sexual, available burden. She doesn't move my life in the direction I want, and even when I had her every single day, I wasn't even happy. So I already have my answer that this girl's not good for my life. So if I'm ever desiring her, I have to let that be a nitro boost to other areas of my life. Listen, I know there are other people, other YouTubers, other people in your life maybe who've told you they've fixed themselves. And I would watch these videos and I would try and go cold turkey for 4 years, never seeing her. And it would fail. I'd last a week, I'd fail. I'd last 3 weeks, I'd fail. How many times? I'm not like that. If you watch those videos and you're able, let's say you've been cold turkey for 2 or 3 years, then don't take this advice. But if you keep watching those videos, it motivates you for a short amount of time and then you give in. Maybe you can't use the same strategy that other person, maybe you have to have a different approach. That's the wall I kept running into. And that's part of why I hope this video is useful for you. It's for people that the typical advice doesn't work for. I don't care what you say. I don't care that you promise yourself you won't. I only care in the last year or 3 months, have you watched this girl? And if the answer is yes, you have to try a new approach because the cold turkey thing is not working for you, clearly. Yeah, obviously this was a hidden metaphor type of video. I think you guys all know what I'm saying, and it is wrong. You like this, it isn't okay. And the worst thing that could have happened is you convince yourself that a girl like this is good for you because you get so dependent on her. Luckily, I knew it was wrong. I just felt powerless to change it. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, and and let me know when you figured out, firstly, like what I was trying to say, I guess, with this metaphor, and your experience with it. Because I feel like people lie on the internet and everyone's cold turkey. Yet you look online and these videos have millions and millions of hits, so, someone's lying. Yeah.